Miscellaneous minds, never explaining the minds. Devilish grin for my alias, aliens who respond. Peddling sin, thinking maybe when you get old you realize I'm not gonna fold or demise. I don't smoke crack, motherfucker, I sell it.
What is going on, everybody? This is the Miscellaneous Minds podcast. I'm your co-host, Gato, the cat that ends your title defense back. And to my left over here is the main man assistant arrow, the man that makes the fat stacks. Together we form the dynamic duo that won't die. Tell the idea, brothers, and spicier content than your girls' only fans.
What is going on, everybody? Before we get to tonight's topic, please make sure to like, comment, hate, subscribe, DM us about the bullshit. And with that, hold on. We want to tell you guys we appreciate everybody that subscribed, everybody that tunes in. We greatly appreciate it. I frequently go through the comments. I respond to some of you guys' comments. I definitely like everybody's stuff. We are trying to get to 250. Please help us out. Send this to your people. Subscribe. Send it to your friends. Anything you got to do, please help us out. We're trying to get to that 250. Again, we appreciate everyone that subscribed thus far. Let's get it. And with that, let's go ahead and get into it. Listen, we actually went to the fight, the last fight that Bam had here in Phoenix. He went up against El Gallo Juan Francisco Estrada. It was a great fight, man. It was a great fight. There was only one fight on that card that wasn't good. The rest of them, all bangers. So it was definitely a good night. That being said, Jesse Rodriguez going up against Pedro Guevara. I definitely have my man Bam taking this one. I think he's got the set of skills, the momentum. I feel like he's got all the right work. He puts in a good amount of work in the ring. He's not afraid to get hit and throw a hit back. I feel like all that put together is definitely going to come to a Bam win. I feel like this is just another build-up to building up who Bam is. I feel like there's a lot of work being put in to showcase him and make him a star, which I think, I think the man, not only apart from what he does in the ring, but what he does outside of the ring is all a good combination to make him a star. Pedro Guevara is a good fighter. I just don't feel like he's on the same level as a Bam. I feel like Jesse Rodriguez just has a little bit too much in the tank for a Pedro Guevara. I feel like the power and the precision of Bam Rodriguez is going to get him over the top and get him to a title defense. Now that he has the title, he took that title from Juan Francisco Estrada. To be honest with you, that fight itself wasn't bad. It was the first time Bam got dropped, the one that we went to. And I feel like it kind of opened his eyes a little bit to what the potential is. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of bangers in his division, and I feel like he could definitely do a lot. But I feel like, again, he just has a little bit too much in the tank for a Pedro Guevara, and I feel like because of that, it's going to be another dub. I believe it's going to put him at 20-0 for Bam, and I feel like it's going to be another good push into a forward 21-0. Good forward momentum for him as well. I'm picking Bam on this one. I think it's going to be good. It's going to be the co-main event. The main event is going to be just as good. But before we get to the main event, what do you think about that, my man?
I definitely think that Jesse Rodriguez definitely has the wherewithal to absolutely bring the fight to Pedro Guevara. Pedro Guevara just seems like, not to disrespect the man, but it seems like especially in his last five fights were actually four of those fights were actually win through unanimous decision. One of those was actually a split decision loss. So I do think Pedro Guevara definitely does have the bread and butter to actually win his fights. But Jesse Rodriguez is no bread and butter. Jesse Rodriguez has the energy. He has the power. I do think for Pedro Guevara, it's definitely going to be one of his harder fights, especially considering that there is a age discrepancy between the two. Pedro Guevara is 35, and Jesse Rodriguez, correct me if I'm wrong, he's in his early 20s. So energy is going to be the big factor in Jesse Rodriguez absolutely winning this fight. Now, don't get me wrong, 35 years of age, it's not old it's older, but not quite old. But it's, as far as fighter trajectory, whether it's boxing or MMA, 35 is, you're kind of on the road to on your way out, so to speak. So I do think, especially for Pedro Guevara, it's going to be a tough hill to climb. It's going to be a tough hill to climb if he's expected to win this fight and potentially grab the WBC Super Flyweight Championship. But I do think it's going to not be as tough a hill to climb for Jesse Rodriguez. I do think, at the very least, if it's not going to go to decision, I'm going to expect a KO in the, I'm going to say 11th round KO for Jesse Bam Rodriguez. No matter what, I do think the WBC Super Flyweight Championship is going to stay on the hips of Jesse Bam Rodriguez.
Yeah, listen, I think the knockout's going to come a little bit before that. To tell you which round, I honestly couldn't tell you, just because, listen, the fight between El Gallo and Bam was good to the point where, yes, Bam ended up getting him out of there, but I'm not lying. Juan Francisco Estrada, he's a vet, and he put in his work. And the fact that he hung in there for as long as shows, the toughness. Pedro Guevara is just as tough. Pedro Guevara is just as tough. So I feel like maybe he could tough it out. So I couldn't tell you exactly what round, but I do think it is going to be a win for Bam Rodriguez via a knockout. We'll definitely see what round, but it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. Now, let's get to the main event. We have Boots Ennis going up against, I can't pronounce the guy's name.
Jaron Chukhadzhian.
Jaron Chukhadzhian. Listen, name aside, I understand my brother here told me that they had previously fought one time before. It came for UD for Boots Ennis. And listen, Boots has been trying to get that work. You guys all know he's been trying to chase after Terrence Crawford. Apparently, Terrence Crawford has denied him, saying, hey, look, no disrespect, but you're not on my level. That type of stuff. Apart from him, Boots Ennis said that three other champions, world champions, told him, no, we're not going to fight you. So listen, Boots is in that weird juncture where Terrence Crawford was at one point, where he was considered some of the top talent in his division, some of the top talent in the game, but just couldn't get that breakout fight with someone of next level caliber, such as a Terrence Crawford and so on. So I feel like Boots Ennis is struggling a little bit just in that aspect. Again, don't get me wrong, Boots Ennis has all the skills to pull off an upset against other bigger fighters, other guys apart from Jaron Chukhadzhian. And I feel like this is just going to be another win for Boots Ennis. And hopefully, after this, man, hopefully he can get some work. Because, again, it's not that Boots Ennis isn't trying to get those fights. He's trying. People just aren't answering the door. My pick, I think it's going to go to UD again, just like it did before. I think that based on Boots' skills, based on Boots' work ethic in the ring, I think it's all going to come to a combination of a UD decision. If it does come to a stoppage, I don't think it's going to be a knockout, but if it comes to a stoppage, I think it's going to be in the later rounds, 9, 10, 11 or so. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Again, hopefully after this fight, Boots gets the respect he deserves and gets the fight that he deserves. What do you think about that, my man?
I do think this fight in and of itself, I think people are kind of discrediting because they feel like Chukhadzhian definitely is a nobody, which I think is kind of unfair, but I mean, I kind of get where you're coming from. But I do think this is basically going to be the last fight that Chukhadzhian is going to have for the IBF welterweight championship. I wasn't sure if you guys were aware, but Boots Ennis actually got the IBF welterweight title off of Chukhadzhian because they were actually both fighting for it. It was vacant at the time, and Boots Ennis actually won the IBF welterweight title off of the Chukhadzhian fight. So this is Chukhadzhian's last chance for that welterweight. For that welterweight title, after this fight, if he loses, he's gonna have to go to the back of the line. So I do think he definitely has something to prove in this fight, because if this fight's basically it. This fight's basically it for finally getting the goal for IBF. That being said, it's going to be, I think, a tougher fight than their first encounter, but I do think Boots Ennis is still going to take the fight to Chukhadzhian. For what it's worth, Ennis has been on a hot streak with winning the IBF and actually defending it 3 times, and this is going to be his 4th title defense for the IBF welterweight. So Boots Ennis has been taking the ball and absolutely running rampant with it. So credit to Boots Ennis. Hopefully this fight will definitely put him on to bigger and better things. I think unfortunately for Chukhadzhian, this is probably going to be his last chance to go against Boots Ennis for the IBF title for a while, if this should be his loss. Not counting out Chukhadzhian just yet, but I do think the cards are stacked against him in this fight, and I do think this is probably going to be his last chance to go up against Boots Ennis for the welterweight title.
Yeah, man. Listen, I'm never going to be a doubter of Boots Ennis. Boots Ennis has all the skills, all the right work to be able to get the job done. Again, listen, it's not that Boots Ennis isn't trying, man. He's trying to get them bigger fights. But again, those people just are saying, no, I'm good. I'll pass. Boots Ennis represents too much of a risk, not enough of a reward. So it just sucks when you're in that particular niche. So hopefully, again, this will be, hopefully he'll have such a stellar performance that people just won't be able to say no anymore. Hopefully the risk reward will even out a little bit. It's going to be a good card, man. Again, we've already seen Bam before here live. We thought it was a great fight, great card. Boots Ennis is always a great, fighter to watch. So we're definitely going to be tuning in for this one. Let us know what you guys think. We're definitely interested. Both of these fighters are fighters that we're going to be keeping on our watch list. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. And with that, make sure to like, comment, hate, subscribe, DM us about the bullshit, and until next time, get rest and stay blessed. We'll see you in the next one.